These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. You know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Elena.
And this is Morbid.
This is morbid.
This is morbid.
And this case is very morbid.
It truly is, and it's only about to get a whole lot morbider.
It's very upsetting.
Deeply upsetting.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm going to put the same trigger warning at the top of this episode that I did in the last episode. Both of the cases that we're going to talk about today, that we talked about in part 1, are like really, really sad domestic violence cases that involve like a whole family.
Yeah.
So if that's not something that you want to listen to right now, by all means, just wait for the next episode. I will not hold it against you.
There you go.
Yeah. So in part 2, we went over the main people involved in the case.
In part 1.
Yep.
I was like, wait.
So in part 1, we went over the main people involved in the case, Jennifer and Bart Corbin, and their very, very tumultuous marriage. But there's a lot more, so definitely make sure that you go listen to part 1 before you start this episode. Now, when we left off, investigators were not getting the best impression from Bart regarding what they were starting to suspect was the murder of his wife. And since he had lawyered up and refused to speak with them, all they could really do at that point was dig into his past. Now, they knew from talking to Jennifer's friends and family that there was a history of violence, but they were stunned when they kept digging and found out Jennifer wasn't the first person close to Bart Corbin to die under suspicious circumstances.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
Well, that leads us to Dorothy Dolly Hearn. She was a 27-year-old dental student at the Medical College of Georgia when she met fellow student Bart Corbin in early 1989. They'd gone to dental school together. And this was like right before he met Jennifer. Scary. So according to Dolly's family and friends, she was immediately drawn to Bart. They had a lot of similar interests, and she found him to be very, very handsome. Like they just really liked each other.
They're
They
in
hit it
dental
off.
school together. It
Yeah.
feels like, you
Like
know.
a kismet, you know? It
Yeah.
probably felt like that way. So they fell in love pretty quickly. Another one of their classmates said she was crazy about him for a while, and I think he really liked her a lot as well. Which that statement tells you something.
Yeah.
So once they started dating, Dolly was really excited to introduce her friends to Bart. She was like, you know, I love this guy. He's a great catch. And she figured that they would all really like him just as much as she did. Mm-hmm. That was not the case when she did introduce her friends to Bart. Her friend Dennis remembered hanging out with Dolly and Bart together a lot and said, I didn't feel comfortable around him. He was one of those people that did not make eye contact with you. He was kind of standoffish to me. And that just didn't leave them with a good feeling. And most of Dolly's friends weren't exactly sure what they didn't like about Bart. They just got the feeling like something was off with them.
Yeah.
With him.
Trust your gut.
Yeah. And the other thing was he seemed to be very, very possessive over Dolly.
That's not shocking.
No. And a lot of them were concerned about that.
Yeah.
Now, they were even more concerned when just a few months after they started dating, Bart actually proposed to Dolly.
He seems to move very fast.
He does. I think it's like the love bomb. Like, oh my God, I love you. Let's get married. Now you're fucking stuck. I hate you and I'm going to hit you.
Yeah,
like,
and that's
terrible.
the thing. It's like he wants the control right away. And so he makes sure he locks that down to get the control.
Exactly. So he caught Dolly entirely off guard with this proposal. And he just kept insisting that they get married as soon as he was done with dental school. Which, like, hi, she was also in dental school.
Yeah.
So what about her? Like, okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, we just won't consider her in this equation
No,
at
of
all.
course not.
Now, Dolly, again, like I said, she was really caught off guard by this, and she wasn't ready to commit to somebody like that. And now she was a little bit concerned that she wasn't as invested in this relationship as Bart was.
Because now she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So she declined the proposal, but she didn't want to end things altogether. Like, she still liked Bart. She just, and, you know, maybe was beginning to love him, but not enough to marry him.
Yeah, she wanted to wait.
Yeah. So they kept dating for a few more months because, again, they had only been together months. So after a while, though, there was just too much weirdness, too much tension between them. It's
always
really
wonder
hard to
how
get
that-
past that.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, it's nobody's fault. It's just like if somebody says no to a proposal, I always wonder when they continue, I'm like, ooh, how do
Yeah.
you get past that?
I
Maybe
don't
people
think
can,
I
but-
could personally.
I don't think I could. That would be tough.
Yeah, that would be really tough.
It just puts a lot on it.
And it really
lot of
sucks
tension.
that she like got that amount of pressure put onto her at such an
She
early
didn't ask
stage.
to be in that.
He kind
position.
of made the relationship crumble before it could even
Yeah,
take
you moved
off.
too fast.
Yeah. So because there was like the weird tension between them, it made Bart irritated and it made Dolly pull away, which of course, if we know Bart Corbin at this point, made him become even more jealous and even more possessive.
Oh, I hate this guy so much.
He's the worst. Have you looked up a picture of him yet?
Yes, I have.
He's just a little fucking fart.
Yeah, he is a fart.
He's
I looked
fart.
at his face and I was like, fuck you, fart.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He's like
It even rhymes with his name.
oh my God, I didn't even
See?
mean to do that.
So fuck you, fart.
Yeah, fart Bart. So after about a year of dealing with this, Dolly was just like, you know what, I can't do this. Like, clearly we are not meant to
Yeah,
be together.
something's up.
She couldn't take the possessiveness anymore or the tension. And at that point, he had become like very obsessive and everything was just getting super toxic and she needed out.
Yeah.
So she did the right thing and she ended things with him. She
Good for her.
was ready to get out of there. So Bart's friend Eric Rader said he was really taking it hard. And Eric also said in the weeks after the breakup, Bart was just consumed with what he referred to as the Dolly situation.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Like, I never want to be
The
referred to
Dolly
as a
situation?
situation.
Ooh, no.
Weird. And he wouldn't talk about anything else. He was fixated on this Dolly situation.
That would scare me.
And Eric felt like what seemed to upset Fart Bart the most was that, quote, she did not appear to be taking the breakup as badly as he was. And that pissed him off. Now, a lot of terrible things happened like back to back in Dolly's life not too long after she ended things with Bart. It was like a series of strange and very unfortunate events. First, somebody tore the sliding door to her apartment off of its track and left her screen door open. Then her car was vandalized. Someone had slashed her tires and poured paint into her gas tank and broke all of the lights on her car. And then, worst of all, and this like ruined me,
her cat Tabitha, who she really, really loved, just simply disappeared. Went missing.
I have a hunch.
Me too. So
That's awful.
yeah, it really
All
is.
of it.
So at first, and this a friend said, quote, at first she thought that she was just unlucky. But after a while, she realized luck had nothing to do with it.
No.
She was being targeted.
Of course.
And when she thought about who in the world would ever want to target her, only one name came to mind.
Yep.
Bart Corbin. And now she was convinced that he was retaliating as a result of the breakup. So she was smart with how she started kind of talking to him at this point. Anytime they would talk, she tried to record the conversation to get a confession out of him about what he'd been doing. But ever aware of his reputation and his career goals, Bart was suspicious that Dolly was doing exactly what she was. So he actually backed off and left her alone for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So it worked out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, Dolly had already been scared of Bart from their relationship, and now that she suspected he was the one terrorizing her after their breakup, she just wanted to stay on his good side. She was really freaked out by this whole entire thing.
I don't blame her.
So just hoping that, eventually they would both move on, he would graduate, and they would just do their best to forget each other. She was like, I'm just going to stay focused on staying on his good side until I can get rid of him. Now, because of that, she declined to press charges or tell the police that she suspected him because she was afraid he would retaliate further.
Oh, that's awful.
And really, at that time, there wouldn't be a lot that they could do.
Yeah.
Like that, unfortunately, back then, there wasn't a lot of laws about this. So for a time, things seemed calm, but they were about to escalate to a point that nobody could have imagined. Dolly's roommate, Angela, came home on the night of June 6, 1990, and found Dolly dead. She was sitting cross-legged on the couch, and her face was covered in blood, and there was a .38 caliber revolver sitting in her lap.
My God.
It was a brutal scene to come home to. So Angela ran to the apartment of their neighbor, who happened to be a doctor, Dr. Steinhaus, and he went running back with her to her apartment to see if he could help. But as soon as he got there, it was very clear that he wasn't going to be able to do anything to save Dolly. She was dead, and he immediately called the police. So, as far as the police could tell, Dolly's death had all the hallmarks of a suicide. The doors and windows to the apartment were all locked. There was no sign of a struggle whatsoever. And Dolly's body was sitting in a relaxed position on the couch with a bullet hole in the right side of her head just above the temple. But it wasn't that simple. Something about the position of Dolly's body struck Dr. Steinhaus, at least, as wrong.
Yeah.
He wasn't involved in the case, though, like as an investigator or like somebody they really like talked to about it too much. Mm-hmm. But in his experience, people who do commit suicide don't usually sit cross-legged in such a relaxed manner.
Yeah.
It just seemed off to him. So he gave his opinion about this to investigators, but they initially treated the death as a suicide, which meant the scene was never processed as a crime scene, really.
Because it seems like more of a taken by surprise kind of thing.
Right.
That you were sitting like that because you were in a comfortable position and you weren't thinking something like that was going to happen.
Maybe. Or think about what had happened to Jennifer. Maybe you were
Staged.
repositioned,
Yeah.
staged. But the medical examiner easily signed off on the death as a suicide. Jesus. Now, later that day, though, after they spoke with Angela, the roommate there, they wondered if that was really the case, the police. So Angela filled them in on everything that Dolly had gone through in the months earlier and explained that Dolly had suspected her ex-boyfriend, Bart Corbin, but was too afraid to take things to the police. She told them all about everything that had gone on. Now, as they started talking to more of Dolly's friends and started chatting with her family, too, police were worried that Bart actually did have something to do with Dolly's death. They had a bad feeling about him. And they were also starting to think back to the scene and realize that certain things about the scene were off. Just like Jennifer, there was no signs of gunpowder on Dolly's hands, which should have been there if she'd really shot herself.
Absolutely.
And they found it bizarre that she had started preparing food, but never finished making the meal that it seemed she was making for herself.
That's weird.
Like, it wasn't even like the bowl or the plate was prepared yet. She was in prepping stages, almost like with Teresita Basa.
Yeah, like why did no one take this into account the first time?
I don't know.
It's a strange crime scene situation.
It is. So after months and months of investigations, in August, detectives did label Bart a person of interest in Dolly's death, and they put together a picture of what they believed had happened on the afternoon that she died. From talking to Bart's friends and acquaintances, they learned that his bitterness and anger towards Dolly had gotten to a very alarming level. One friend admitted to detectives that Bart had, quote, boasted how he was planning the perfect murder. And you didn't go tell anyone, fuckface?
That will never be something that doesn't shock me.
We say it every time, but I can't not say it.
I don't understand.
Like, anyone who tells me that they're gonna murder somebody, like, legit is like, I know how to get away with the perfect murder. 911, what's my emergency?
That's the thing.
That's my emergency.
I don't get it. I've never had anyone in my life tell me that they are planning a murder. And
Never.
And if it just doesn't, it would shock me if someone said that.
No.
I'd be like, what? Like, that's not even a joke.
I'd be like, don't say that to me.
I've never even heard somebody joke about that. Like, it's just not a thing.
No.
And these people are hearing these people be like, no, seriously, I have all the plans. I will get away with it. I'm going to do it. And they're like, I don't know. I thought he was joking. And it's like,
a little
who
kid
are
joke.
you hanging around with? Like, this is just like not shocking. to
And
you.
not only that he said, like, I know how to get away with the perfect murder, but the fact that he was so obsessed with talking about his ex-girlfriend, you weren't scared about what was going to happen to her?
It doesn't make sense.
So the police, like I said, put together a theory, and that was that Bart had put a plan into motion on June 6th, and he went to Dolly's apartment. She was not expecting him. And his car had actually been spotted by the apartment manager, that managed the apartment complex. And after being let inside, detectives figured some kind of argument had started between the two of them that escalated to the point where Bart, quote unquote, lost it and grabbed the .38 Rossi revolver that Dolly had actually been given by a friend because she was so worried about what was going on. Her friend had given her this gun for protection.
Wow.
Bart grabbed it and then used it to shoot Dolly in the head. They figured the bullet would have killed her instantly, and then she fell back onto the couch, they assumed. And then detectives believed that Bart went about the apartment staging the scene, repositioned the body, placed the gun in Dolly's lap, and then left through the sliding glass door, able to lock it behind him as he went.
So this guy murdered his ex-girlfriend and then just...
Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Just went on to get married and have 2 kids and went about his day-to-day life.
Yeah.
As a fucking dentist.
Can you imagine if this
Finding out he
motherfucker
was your dentist?
Was your dentist?
And you were like, you had murdered someone. Not only did you murder someone later, but you had murdered someone when you were my
2
dentist.
people. Yeah.
Damn.
Insane.
Damn.
So creepy.
Yeah.
Like, creepy's not even the right word, but...
He's just, I can't believe he was able to just... Damn.
And just went on. Can you imagine he fucking coached your child's little league team? Imagine that. That's even worse than being your dentist.
Yeah.
He was around your child. That's scary.
Oof.
But unfortunately, even though there was a lot of circumstantial evidence and hearsay that led them to this conclusion, there wasn't any physical evidence linking him to the scene, so they weren't going to be able to get an arrest warrant, unfortunately. Wow. And, you know, Dolly's death seemed suspicious for sure, but the medical examiner had labeled it a suicide. Now, Dolly's family actually ended up hiring their own private pathologist to review everything, but that doctor also wasn't able to rule out suicide as a possible death, or cause of death, excuse me, so there wasn't a lot they could do.
Wow.
And because of that, the case just ended up going cold.
Damn.
So Bart went on to graduate from dental school, marry Jennifer, start a family, and relocate to the suburbs outside of Atlanta, just leaving the investigation and all that gossip over there behind him.
Wow.
But still lived in the same state.
That's what's shocking to me.
Georgia's
I'm like,
really
you
big.
opened up a dental practice and like no one
I'm
was
you
like,
didn't
hey,
move
that
to,
guy was thought to have murdered his ex-girlfriend.
You didn't at least move to another state?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Truly. So the day after, now we're going back to Jennifer's investigation, the day after Jennifer's body was discovered in the Corbin house, Bart was served with a warrant that allowed authorities to test him for gunshot residue. But by that point, enough time had passed that he probably washed his hands 650,000 times and like washed his clothes as well. So there was nothing. They didn't find anything. And beyond the residue test, he continued to refuse to cooperate in any way with the police or give any kind of formal statement. But luckily, the police were undeterred. And the Gwinnett Police Corporal Dan Huggins told reporters, "We will continue investigating this case with or without him."
Good.
They were steadfast, which is awesome. So on December 8th, 2004, the news broke that investigators were now investigating Jennifer's death as a homicide. And while they hadn't officially labeled Bart a suspect, they were very interested in speaking to him about the murder. Now, at the same time, the press had learned a little bit about Bart's past when it was uncovered that he had quite the connection to Dolly Hearn's suspicious death.
Yeah.
And everybody was putting the pieces together. So the press was starting to ask questions now about Dolly, too. And when asked about Dolly's death, Sergeant Scott Peebles told reporters, "That case is still open, and we are talking to Gwinnett Police, and we'll let them do their thing first before we reinvestigate."
Whoa.
So now we have two police forces working together at this point. Now, in the meantime, Jennifer's friends and family did whatever they could to spread the word that this death was a homicide. Jennifer's divorce lawyer, Judy King, told reporters the family was highly suspicious. Then, when they heard about the circumstances in Augusta, where Dolly was killed, they became even more suspicious.
Yeah.
Jennifer's sister and her husband also spoke out and told reporters about how she and Jennifer had gone Christmas shopping just days before Jennifer was killed, which pointed to evidence that Jennifer was future-oriented. Like
That's the thing.
wouldn't have killed
I was going to
herself.
say she was already planning stuff.
Her sister said she was not depressed. She was buying presents for her boys. She would not commit suicide. Now, while Bart continued to drag on the investigation and dodge investigators, an emergency hearing was held to determine custody of the two boys, which was temporarily granted to Jennifer's sister and brother-in-law, Heather and Doug. Now, worth noting here that Bart was well aware this hearing was going on, and he was given an opportunity to show up. And he knew that if he didn't show up, his in-laws were definitely going to get custody. He refused to go to the hearing and never even checked in with his kids.
Yeah, because he doesn't give a shit.
Like, he literally just abandoned those kids as soon as he killed their mother.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
He severed the connection.
Wild to me that you could do that.
He's a monster.
Like, I can't even move to another state. Like, sometimes I talk about it and then I'm like, no way, I would miss my nieces too much.
It's like your nieces.
Like, those are my nieces. I can't imagine leaving my children.
Yeah, and just being like, fuck that. Also, leaving them with that kind of trauma, too.
Well, he just
And
left
going
them
about
in
your
the
life.
house, like, with their mother who had just been killed.
And also, they're like babies. They're like
young.
children.
Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't have been left alone even under the most wonderful of circumstances. Like,
No.
And you just killed their mother and then leave them alone in a house
and left them to
deal
fend
with it.
for themselves.
Like what a fucking monster.
And left them to find their mother like that. That's the last image
No,
both
he's
of
a
those
fucking
kids
monster.
have of their mother.
Truly a monster.
Truly. But luckily, the police were moving quickly and efficiently.
Good.
Just 1 week after Jennifer's murder, the DA, Danny Porter, officially designated Bart Corbin as the primary focus and the main suspect in the investigation into the murder.
Good. Fuck this guy.
And as investigators in Gwinnett County, where Jennifer had been killed, searched the Corbin house for a second and then a third time, detectives in Richmond County, where Dolly was killed, had reopened their investigation into her death.
Oh, wow.
And those investigators, made a statement asking anyone who might have information to please come forward with it. Sergeant Peebles told reporters, "The Gwinnett case caused us to bring it back to active status because of new information that needed to be followed up on." Now, the new information that Peebles was referring to came about after detectives decided to do a thorough reevaluation of Dolly's case in Augusta. Now, after going over the case file, Peebles immediately recognized this pathology in Bart's behavior.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, in the months leading up to Dolly's death. He said he was a sociopath. He was a stalker. At the time of Dolly's death in 1990, law enforcement didn't have the best understanding of stalking.
No.
I mean, the laws surrounding it had barely been put into place yet. And they didn't know to look for the kinds of behavior patterns that Bart was displaying.
Like the escalating kind of thing.
Yeah, becoming more and more menacing. And even if they had understood those things, like I said earlier, there weren't many laws in general, but especially not in Georgia, that would have protected Dolly from what Bart would have or could have done to her.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, the law couldn't do much until she'd actually been hurt, which is insane in and of itself. And at that point, as we know, was already way too fucking late.
Exactly.
Which is why stalking laws exist now.
Like, punish these weirdos.
But in 2004, Bart's behavior was easily recognizable to these detectives. And they were like, oh, clearly he was intent on controlling and terrorizing Dolly, just like he was intent on controlling and terrorizing Jennifer.
Exactly.
So given that, Peebles revisited every aspect of the case with subject matter experts, and that's when he hit a big break in this case. In 1990, in Richmond County, where Dolly's death had taken place, there was no blood spatter expert at that point, and they didn't typically call one in if they thought the case was a suicide.
Yeah.
But in 2004, Scott Peebles sat down with a forensic analyst, Dwayne Piper, and he looked over the photos and told Peebles, if she committed suicide, then somebody moved her body after.
Yeah.
Now, his confirmation that the body had been moved meant that after 14 years of inactivity, Dolly's case could finally be labeled a homicide.
Finally.
Because she didn't move after killing herself,
No,
obviously.
of course not.
And now investigators' main suspect, obviously, was Bart Corbin. So on December 14th, Bart's attorneys broke their silence for the first time and held a press conference of their own. They told reporters, "We've learned some things that point pretty strongly to Corbin's innocence."
Oh, yeah?
Then they declined to elaborate on what those things might be.
Because they don't exist.
But when asked why he remained uncooperative with the investigation, Bart himself finally spoke up and said, "I've been persecuted in the media in the last 10 days. I'm anxious to speak, but have not because of legal advice. The truth will come out in the end."
It sure will.
It's like, yeah, Bart, I think we all know that, but do you?
Do you really know that?
Do you know that the truth is going to come out in the end?
The real version of the truth, or
Yeah.
the thing you think your version of the truth is going to come out?
Exactly.
No.
No. So a week later, on the morning of December 23rd, a grand jury in Richmond County considered the evidence against Bart in the murder of Dolly Hearn, and they returned an indictment where he was formally charged with 1 count of
Hell
felony
yeah.
murder and 1 count of malice murder.
Hell yeah.
After almost 15 years, Dolly's family and friends finally got the chance to see some kind of justice served.
Knowing this man was just walking around living his life for 15 years.
I can't imagine.
Becoming a dentist.
And they all knew, like her friends
Yeah.
and family all knew what had happened.
Oh my God, that
but there
must
was
have been torturous.
maddening
Yeah.
because there's no way to prove it. But now there was. So a warrant for his arrest was faxed to Gwinnett County authorities. This is fucking awesome. Just, this will give you so much life.
Oh, I love
It gave
it.
me life. So they faxed the warrant for his arrest to Gwinnett County authorities where he lives, and they were more than prepared. They had been monitoring Bart around the clock, so they knew that he was at his office with his secretary.
Oh my God, shut up.
So with an arrest warrant in hand, they headed straight to the office and waited outside for the go-ahead to arrest him. A little past noon, he left his office in the company of his mistress, Jennifer
Oh
Garner.
my God, shut up.
Classic. They got into his car and they started driving out of the parking lot. Now, little did they know at first, but police were close behind, and a news helicopter that had been tipped off was also flying overhead.
Shut the fuck up.
So just minutes after they left the parking lot, officers got the okay to arrest him. So as he and his mistress pulled up to a stoplight at a red light, 3 cruisers surrounded
Oh my
the
God.
car. Officers got out with their guns drawn and demanded that Bart exit the vehicle with his hands in the motherfucking air.
Oh, I would have paid to see this.
Oh my God, I know. He looked completely stunned, to which I say, ha!
Yeah.
But he did as he was told. He was handcuffed, he got put into an unmarked police vehicle, and the entire scene was captured on camera from beginning to end and was aired on all the news stations in Georgia later that night. Bart's worst nightmare.
Obsessed.
Reputation gone.
It's like, ooh,
Reputation tainted.
Yeah. Way worse.
Yeah. Worse
Way
than you
worse.
ever could have imagined.
Way worse
Bart Fart.
than a divorce would have tainted it.
Just get fucking divorced,
Yeah.
dude. But at that point, don't even do that because you're already a murderer.
Yeah.
So Bart's arrest was encouraging for both families, the Hearn and the Barber family, but not everybody was eager to get too far ahead of themselves. They were very worried about getting their hopes up.
Of course.
Dolly's brother Carlton told reporters, "We still understand that it's a long road ahead of us." And Jennifer's sister Heather was also cautious. She told the press, "We do not feel victorious, and I suspect it's not a victorious day for the Hearns either." Now, I can definitely understand why both of them were apprehensive in the wake
Yeah.
of Bart's arrest. Again, for Dolly's family, it had been 14, almost 15 years since they lost her. And Bart had gotten away with it for that long.
Yeah, of course.
And in Jennifer's case, the evidence against him wasn't necessarily going to make for a slam dunk case.
yeah, it's not like airtight case
Right.
here.
Right. So on January 5th, 2005, they may have felt slightly better about the situation when a grand jury indicted Bart on 3 counts regarding Jennifer's murder, because at that point he hadn't even been arrested for that, but a bench warrant was issued for his arrest in that case.
Whoa.
So he got like arrested in prison, I guess, or
Wow.
in jail. Now, while he sat in Augusta, because he was in Augusta jail, he had to be like transferred over there because Dolly's murder happened in that county.
Yeah.
He was sitting in that jail without bond, and while that was happening, his lawyers went to work juggling pretrial motions in the 2 murder cases. And this is where things kind of get a little bit complicated.
Okay.
But I did my best. So
I did my best.
the defense was hoping to keep the 2 cases completely separate when it came to the evidence, obviously, because it would
Yeah.
make for an easier way to defend him.
Of course.
But the prosecution was already ahead of them, trying to get approval to introduce evidence in each case that's called similar transaction evidence. Essentially, it's a legal term that refers to evidence that is used in a different case that can demonstrate a pattern of behavior.
Okay.
So like a robbery case where this part of the show is brought to you by Anua, the Korean skincare brand known for scientific, gentle, yet effective formulations. The latest from Anua is the Retinol Collagen Gua Sha Cream, a firming cream with a gua sha-shaped tip built right in. Have you guys heard of gua sha? It's that viral massage tool that moves fluid and tension out of your face. Less puffiness, a snatched jawline, honey, more definition in your face. Retinol firms and reduces fine lines, and collagen keeps your skin plump and structured. This cream has both of those things, arguably the most optimal combo for that snatched, lifted look all in one step. I am obsessed with the Gua Sha cream. First of all, it feels so cool to the touch when you put that on your face. It's just like, ah, this is lovely. It's like a little spa treatment that you can give yourself. I like to do mine at night after I get out of the shower. I rub the cream on my face with the little gua sha. I'm sculpting that jawline, honey. I got it on the cheekbones. And actually, I had a facial the other day, and the lady doing my facial, the professional, she said, "Do you use a gua sha at home?" And I said, "I do." And I said, "How did you know that?" And she said, "I didn't have those little like bumps in my chin or like different areas like that." So she could tell that I was using the gua sha. And I said, "Oh my God." I just feel like I wake up less puffy in the morning when I do it the night before. But you can do it whenever you want to. I, 10 out of 10, recommend this product. The Anua Gua Sha Cream value set is available at anua.com, already discounted. Use code MORBID for an extra 10% off. That's ANUA.com, code MORBID.
The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only, some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Evidence from a separate burglary case in the past is used.
Okay.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. So the DA, Danny Porter, he felt like it would be specifically implied in these two cases and said, this is a classic case for similar transaction evidence. It's going to be really important to both cases. But I think it's kind of hard to get that entered.
Yeah,
Like
that
to
makes
get the
sense.
judge to sign off on it.
Yeah, so it's
basically.
like this would be great, but like
We're
can
really
we make
hoping,
it happen?
but we don't know.
Yeah.
So under Georgia law, a defendant's past criminal history can only be introduced under certain circumstances, including, quote, if the evidence of an alleged separate offense can help prove a defendant's identity, intent, motive, plan, scheme, bent of mind, or course of conduct.
All right.
So Dolly and Jennifer were both killed after indicating their intent to end relationships with
Yep.
Bart Corbin, which was then followed by a period in which he terrorized each of them and eventually killed them in very similar manners. So kind of seems like this is a special circumstance.
Yeah.
So allowing the evidence and testimony from the Dolly Hearn murder case and Jennifer's case, or vice versa, would 100% demonstrate a pattern of behavior and an indication of guilty. And both the prosecution and the defense knew that, and that's why they were solely focused on this matter of similar transaction evidence.
Okay.
So the defense and prosecution spent months on pretrial motions. A judge, and there was like a judge's recusal, which is where they get rid of them because like they have
Some
bias
kind
or
of
something.
bias or
They-
conflict.
Yeah, they talked about a change of venue. They talked about preventing this similar transaction evidence in. They talked about dropping the charges even.
So they're really trying to get this case like airtight so that there's no slip ups. Like he doesn't slither his way out of this.
Exactly. The prosecution is trying to do that while the defense is trying to dismantle all of it.
Exactly.
But finally, on March 30th, 2006 now,
Wow.
a judge in Gwinnett County ordered that evidence related to the death of Dolly Hearn could indeed be introduced into the
Good.
Jennifer Corbin case.
Thank goodness.
And that struck a major blow to Bart's defense.
Of course it did.
So his lawyers were hoping to actually appeal that decision before they even went to trial. So they took it to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court was like, yeah, we're not interested in that.
No.
Like the lower court's decision stands. So while lawyers on both sides continued to battle over these pretrial motions in the courtroom, detectives in Richmond and in Gwinnett counties continued their investigations, just trying to gather even more evidence that could be used at trial. Now, among the most important evidence was the origin of the gun used in Jennifer's death. They didn't know where it had come from.
Oh, yeah.
And as far as they knew, the Corbins actually didn't own any guns.
Huh.
So determining where it had come from was extremely important.
Yeah.
Now, in the course of their investigation, they learned that just days before Jennifer's murder, Bart had traveled to Troy, Alabama to visit his old friend Richard Wilson. Now, the visit seemed very suspicious to detectives, and they figured that the murder and the timing of the visit were two likely connected events. So they paid a visit to Mr. Richard Wilson and his wife in Alabama to ask a couple of questions about Bart's visit.
Uh-oh.
Now, Richard Wilson and his wife told the investigators, actually, as far as they knew, the Corbins did own a shotgun. And they said, we never gave a gun to Bart or anyone in the Corbin family for that matter. So just to be sure, the detectives were like, I don't know, like, this doesn't sound right. So they stopped at the Troy Police Department on their way back to Georgia. And they learned that Richard Wilson's wife, Janice, owned a .38 caliber gun special, a 38 special, that's what it's called, exactly like the one used in Jennifer's
What
murder.
the fuck?
So you're a couple of fucking liars.
How dare you?
So in the weeks that followed, detectives in Georgia started learning more and more about Richard Wilson and who he was and how he was connected to Bart. It turned out that he and Bart had met almost 20 years earlier when Richard was working for Bart's father
Oh.
as a salesman for a chemical company. Now, in the 15 years that passed since then, Richard and Bart had become really good friends, and Richard had this really weird sense of loyalty that ended up playing a very significant role in this case.
Ew.
Yeah, it's very layered.
Don't be loyal to those people.
these hoes ain't loyal.
Don't do that.
And Bart is a hoe.
Yeah.
So among
Fart.
a fart, yeah. I thought you were just like Bart.
Yeah,
I was like,
Bart.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, indeed.
So among the things investigators learned was that Bart and Jennifer had paid a surprise visit to Richard and Janice's home in Troy the summer before Jennifer had been killed. And that was followed by another visit from Bart alone on November 30th, 2004, after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Now, in the months between then, Bart and Richard had a ton of conversations where Bart was telling Richard all about his crumbling marriage, how his wife was having an affair with, quote unquote, someone on the internet.
Oh, boo-hoo.
And he had plans to divorce Jennifer, but was nervous about it because, you know, she really flew off the handle all the time.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Now, the information investigators learned about Richard Wilson and Bart Corbin's relationship was collected over a pretty long period of time, and it took a lot of diligence to get. In fact, since they interviewed him in the days after Jennifer's death, Richard Wilson had maintained that he knew nothing about the murder and maintained he never provided Bart with any kind of gun.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, it turned out that Richard Wilson's loyalty to Bart did have limits.
Good.
When he was threatened with a subpoena to testify under oath,
That'll
he
do
was
it.
like, actually, I have to talk to you about something. He became a bit more forthcoming. Crazy how that happened.
Yeah, suddenly he's chatty.
Wow. Now, on September 13th, 2006, as jury selection was underway in Gwinnett County, the district attorney, Danny Porter, made an emergency trip to Troy, Alabama, to record what would become a critical interview with Richard Wilson.
Ooh.
According to Wilson, Bart returned to Troy alone for that November 30th visit and told him that the divorce was imminent, but he was concerned for his safety and, quote, wanted to have a little extra protection for himself.
Come on.
He said just in case Jennifer or one of her family members became threatening.
Oh, shut up.
Now, it turned out that Richard Wilson had just gotten a 38 special as a payment for some mechanic work that he'd done. And after checking with the police that the gun wasn't stolen, they registered it in his wife's name. But after that, they didn't really do anything with it. It was just kind of sitting around the house. So Richard Wilson gave his friend Bart the revolver that evening. And then Bart returned to Buford with it. And 4 days later, Jennifer Corbin was shot with Richard Wilson's gun.
Wow.
So the prosecution's case against Bart Corbin in Gwinnett County before that was strong, but there were definitely holes that could have been poked in the case. And one of the biggest issues that could have been poked was the fact that before they spoke to Richard Wilson, they had no idea where that gun had come from.
Yeah.
Now they knew,
Ooh.
and now this interview was on tape. So now they could prove that Bart had procured the weapon used in his wife's death just days before she was killed.
He sure did.
And of all of the evidence collected during investigation, it turned out that nothing was more damning than that interview.
Damn.
If they hadn't looked into his past and found this Richard Wilson character, Bart
that
might
would have been
not
a huge hole.
Yeah, it would have been a really big hole. So the next day, district attorney there, Danny Porter, gave a copy of Richard Wilson's recorded interview to Bart's lawyers, who had until then been eager to go to trial. But hours later, the DA's office got a call from Bart's defense team saying that Bart now wanted to discuss a plea deal. He was fucked.
Oh, yeah. Where's he going to go?
Exactly.
Like, there's no way out of this one.
Because between the similar transaction evidence connecting both of the murders, and now Richard Wilson's interview connecting the gun directly to Bart, he and his defense knew that there was pretty much no chance he was going to be acquitted. So instead of proceeding with the trial, which again was already currently underway with jury selection, Danny Porter, the DA, offered a deal. Bart, would plead guilty to both murders and make a full confession before a judge.
Damn.
In exchange for 2 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 15 years.
Damn.
With no better options, Bart accepted the deal, and on September 15th, he appeared before a judge in a Lawrenceville courtroom and confessed to the murders of Dolly Hearn and Jennifer Corbin.
I can't believe that they were like, this is actually like such an impressive case.
It's such a gotcha case.
That's the thing. And I love that nobody gave up.
Nobody gave up.
And everybody was like, not only are we not going to give up for Jennifer's case, but like, we're going to get Dolly in there.
We're gonna
like,
get
it was
both of
like,
these
we're
women
not letting
justice.
Dolly's case go by the wayside here.
No
like,
way.
I love that they just fucked him into a corner.
Oh, into.
And we're like, what are you going to do now, Bart?
And there was nothing
There's
you could
literally nowhere you can go. You fucked
do.
yourself.
Like, we got ya. And all.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
All of fucking Georgia knows exactly who the fuck you are.
How's your reputation doing, buddy?
Big reputation.
Yeah.
That's Swift, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I think she says big reputation.
she says that all the
in
time.
the song.
No, she just she says it.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't want to let them know that we were hanging out.
Yeah,
with her.
sometimes when you hang out with Taylor, she'll just be like, big reputation, and you're like, yeah, Taylor.
Sometimes we fall into very strange bits.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that about us.
Part of the charm, I think.
Hey. So, after Bart's confession, Judge Michael Clark allowed 2 family members to make a statement. So Jennifer's father, Max Barber, spoke first and told his former son-in-law, "God may forgive you, I never will. I just virtually hope you burn in hell."
Oh, good for him. Fuck that guy.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. That was a really great way to say it.
Mm-hmm. And Dolly's brother Carlton shared a similar sentiment and told the court 16 years of silence, because by that point it had been 16 years. He said 16 years of pain. Bart Corbin has disgraced his profession, dentistry, and stolen from mankind. My family is in complete agreement with the sentence.
Yeah. And it's like, this fucker for 16 years got to live a life
16.
where he had a dental practice, he had children, he got to get married, he got to fuck up 2 children's lives.
Yep.
That's what kills me. I'm like, you got to fuck up these 2 kids and traumatize them for however many years.
He is
before
monster.
You got caught. That sucks.
He's a monster.
And then you got to take this woman out of who didn't want to be with you.
No.
Who would have lived a totally happy and probably fulfilling as fuck life.
Yeah, you could have just gotten
outside of your
divorced.
bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, it just makes me so angry.
And all it really came down to, I'm sure, was money and greed.
Of course.
And it's like, okay, then you should have gotten a fucking prenup.
He wanted to keep his dental practice.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want people to be, chit-chatting about the divorce and about affairs and all that. And he didn't want anyone to think that he actually hit her, even though... So it's like, okay, so you hit her, but you don't want to I don't want to admit that I hit her. I don't want anyone to know I hit her.
Yeah.
Like, you're a piece of shit.
He's disgusting. And
But you lost.
the part where he was like, she can't prove it.
Yeah.
I hate when that's like their first offense, when you just hit someone and you know very well that you have hit them and you say, you can't prove it.
You can't prove it.
Like, you're a fucking animal.
Like, fuck you. That's
Animal.
exactly. You're an animal.
And you got exactly what you deserved. So when court was adjourned, reporters asked the district attorney, Danny Porter, about the deal that he had made with Corbin. And he told them he won't have a realistic chance, meaning at parole, until 28 years. And as far as things went with Richard... Oh, I kept reading that like it was a quote, but it was my writing. So he won't have a realistic chance at parole until 28 years. And then, as far as things went with Richard Wilson, Porter said he had no intention of actually charging Wilson with a crime. He said, once Jennifer was found dead, he figured it out. I think he figured if he kept his mouth shut and his head down, it would blow over, which is really fucked up.
Yeah.
But overall, Danny Porter believed that Richard Wilson was just too scared to come forward and didn't want to betray his friend, which, like, you can betray your friend if it means that you were not involved in a murder.
That's the thing. It's like, betray your friend.
Betray your friend.
Yeah.
All the live long day. But luckily, he eventually decided, Richard there, to do the right thing, even if it was at the final hour. And it really is because of that they were able to hold the right person responsible for the murders of Dolly and Jennifer. And I think that's probably why they didn't go any further with charging him with, like, obstruction of justice or anything like that.
Yeah, that
Now,
makes sense.
As of today, Bart Corbin remains incarcerated at the Central State Prison in, I think it's Macon, Georgia, but I'm not positive.
I think you're right.
I think so. And he will be eligible for parole in 2030. So he's got a little while, but it's not that far.
But he still, don't give him parole.
I hope he wouldn't get
Come
parole.
on.
I mean, I would think
He's a
sitting
brutal
on
fuck.
that board of parole officers, like, he got away with this for 16 years
Yeah.
and clearly didn't feel any shred of guilt.
And he tried to make both of them look like they had, like, killed themselves. Like, that's some
Nefarious shit.
Like, he's a nefarious fucker.
He is.
Keep him where he is.
But it makes me so sad that everything happened the way that it did, and that, like, most of these women's lives. I mean, Dolly was 27 when she met him. Like, she still had some of the best years
So
of her
young.
life ahead of her. And so did Jennifer. Like, who knows what would have happened? Maybe she would have ended up with Anita.
Yeah, and it's
like,
she
in
had
a loving,
two
fulfilling
boys,
relationship.
Like, 2 little boys
And now they,
who deserved to have her.
yeah.
And she seemed to be the one that was, like, the only one that was giving them the love and support that they deserved.
Exactly, other than, like, her family. And luckily, the boys, in case anybody is wondering, they did end up, Jennifer's sister, Heather, got permanent custody.
Good.
So that
Thank
makes me happy,
goodness.
because she seems like a really good person.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm glad.
And it's like a piece of their mom is still with them.
Yeah,
You know, like,
exactly.
yeah.
Oof.
But what a fucking tragic case overall.
Truly.
I am not excited to make my next dentist appointment. I'm
No.
really freaked out about that. Because the fact that, like, a murderer could be anybody. And that
That's the
scares
thing.
the shit out of
Like,
me.
he was a little league coach.
He was a Little League coach.
and
was
he
a
had
dentist.
killed a woman.
He volunteered in the community.
And these poor parents have no idea. He's sitting there screaming and yelling at their 7-year-olds on a baseball team, and they have no idea that he is an actual fucking monster. He's not just a monster in that sense.
Jennifer
he's
went to Italy with a murderer and
Yeah.
had no idea.
Oof.
Like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
It's always question somebody whose temper is that explosive.
Absolutely.
Just question it.
Absolutely.
But that's so fucked.
This whole case is. I think we need to do something like haunted-ish next.
Yeah, we truly do.
Yeah.
Need to get a little bit of spookies in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we hope you keep listening for that.
And we hope you
Keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you're not in the mood for something haunted, because now I'm really in the mood for something haunted after all
Yeah.
this sad.
Get me out of here.
Yeah. Bye.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Cocktails up here feel just right. Is Cambria amazing? All right. Bring a date, your team, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com. See you on the roof.
You wouldn't take financial advice from a 72 hours in a single day alpha influencer, would you? Same goes if you're in a car accident or any accident. Who you choose matters. That's why Morgan & Morgan exists. They're the largest injury law firm in America, and they've built a reputation by actually winning cases, not just talking about it. Over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 states and $30 billion recovered. Injured? Go to forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast.